Light is a 2002 novel by M. John Harrison. It is actually first in a trilogy called the Kefahuchi Tract or something like that. Anyways, the story starts in 1999 with our first character set to celebrate Y2K, not right away, but coming soon, somewhat. And upset that his date, Clara, dragged him to a party. It's pretty mundane and dull. That is, of course, until page 2, because this is just page 1, where something shocking happens, and I shan't spoil it for you. This is Michael Kearney. He works with a partner, Brian Tate, studying quantum physics. He has a white cat and a black cat as well, though he actually seems to spend really little time studying these physics at all. Then in the year 2400, we have K Captain Saria Mao Genlicher, a cyber-enhanced woman on her ship as she completes a job for the alien Nastic in some war she remains purposely ignorant of. She stares upon the Kefahuchi Tract and mentions dead aliens and other things, and societies and civilizations and, artifacts, blah, blah, blah. It's a little wild, and I didn't know where it was going, really. And it really only amps up from there. Each introduction having something about it. The last is Ed Chianese, ex-pilot and an adventurer. He is also in 2400 AD. He heavily involves an alien species called New Men, which look like humans mostly, but seem to be a bit dumber and more constantly horny, which in reality I guess is pretty close to just humans. Or at least that's what it seems like Harrison's getting at. There's lots of sex and plenty of killing. Be warned, it's also one of those books where the author refers to genitalia just as sex, which I think is just weird. But this is a weird story as well, though. And that doesn't have anything to do with it. Saria, for example, seems to be part of the ship rather than, like, a straight human herself, or at least detached from her humanity. She also entertains some humans, particularly the clone in this group, becomes important. Though she's very brutal and lacks a lot of humanity in some ways. Ed spends a good amount of time with Tig Vericle, that runs a pod for cyber experiences that help Ed escape reality. That is until the Cray sisters come looking for him. In their relative present, Michael spends a good amount of time with his ex-wife Anna, who seems to have a number of mental health issues, an obvious one being bulimia. Lots of unhealthy people going around here. I think Ed is maybe in some ways the most relatable character, but there's definitely some depth for the human spirit and psyche here. They're not immediately gripping as characters, though. We get actions more than we get inner thoughts, and they're all nut jobs, and there's a lot of sex, and I eventually was enjoying each of the 3 arcs, though. And also, it doesn't really feel like cyberpunk at first, but I can see it kind of gets the label of post-cyberpunk in some cases, or cyberpunk in other cases. It's not so much in like Gibsonian vibe at all, but that maybe people would expect in the themes of drugs and transhumanism. But it's in a weird place too, because some high-tech science is common, like the K-ship operating in nanoseconds. Oh, and the Welsh folk legend of Mari Lwyd, I don't know, is like a really interesting twist, or something interesting to throw in at least. It's definitely a unique experience and messes with the genre for sure. I mean, I did like the sci-fi parts, and it took me a while to get into it, though it is short. It's very dense. Some allusions, again, are made to like older sci-fi like 2001 or stuff by Alfred Bester. Most satisfying, though, it is mostly satisfying, I should say, as a novel. I mean, there's some things left open, and there are sequels, but it pretty much ends with the beginning, actually, and I think you could easily just drop it here. And I'm not sure I'll read the next 2 books, as they follow different characters as far as I'm aware. But anyways, very much a nice mixture of dark and light going on here, and I'm glad I read it. At least it's a weird one.